YouTube, what's going on? It's J&A Exotics and welcome back. In today's video, I thought it would be a cool idea to do a tank review on these new Age Pet EcoFlex Enclosures, considering we just got a brand new one and it's going to be our Bearded Dragon's forever home. So in today's video, I'm basically going to construct the enclosure for you guys. I'm going to show you how it's done step by step, and then I'm going to go over the things that I like and don't like about the enclosure. So without any further ado, let's jump into it. A quick rundown of this enclosure before I start building it. This is the new Age Pet EcoFlex Enclosure, maple color, it's 120 gallons, and it matches the Bearded Dragon enclosure we have now, so let's get into it. So now that the box is out of the way, these are all the tools, the screws, and the tank accessories that comes with the enclosure that you're going to need. Thankfully, this enclosure comes with instructions, and I will be using them for today, but when you open it up, it shows you everything that's supposed to come with this enclosure. So I do have the bottom of the enclosure right here, and it looks like it did come damaged. That's not really something I'm going to worry about too much because I can fix this, but I am going to be keeping an eye out for any more damaged pieces. But as you guys can see, this is my bottom right here, and we're going to be starting off with this piece right here that the doors actually slide on. So this is a nice little touch. It's something silly, but I just happen to like it. Right here it says this side faces in, which is actually very important because you might think both sides are the same, and they look the same, but it's actually offset a little right here, so your doors are not going to function properly with the top track if you put this on the wrong way. Now with all that said and out of the way, we are going to take 3 of the larger screws and screw this in. So what I'm doing first is I'm just screwing them in with my hand to get them started. And then I'm going to go back with the tool and tighten it. So a quick rule of thumb with these screws, you want them tight but not too tight. You don't want to strip out the heads, you don't want to dent the surface of the enclosure, and you don't want to break the tool. Now we're going to move on to the next steps. We're going to put on our 2 sides and the back. Again, I'm not working with a whole lot of room in here, so I just stood the enclosure up, but I am going to take my screws, and I'm again just going to start them by hand on the sides here, like so. Very simple. Again, now that they're finger tight, I'm just going to take the tool, tighten this up. You want it tight, but you don't want it over tight. So there's not necessarily a top and a bottom on this back piece. You could have this facing the other way, all the holes line up, and it's going to work no matter what way you put it. But again, I'm just going to repeat the same process with these screws. So now that I got these 3 bottom screws in on the back, the sides here on the back take these smaller screws. So as you can see right here, the sides are completely tight, but there are gaps and cracks all the way along the sides of the enclosures, especially down right there near the broken piece, but it's not necessarily an issue for me. I'll just silicone it. I'm modifying the tank and adding a custom background, but if you are not, I can definitely see sand and stuff escaping from the enclosure right there. Honestly, this is the biggest downside of these enclosures that I've noticed so far. So the next step is going to be to put the top on. As you guys can see, I already did that. I have not screwed it yet, and I'm probably not going to film myself screwing it because I'm running out of room right now. So I'm going to get this thing screwed into place, and we're going to jump to the next step. Now your next step is going to be installing your glass doors and all the hardware for your glass doors. This right here is going to be your first step. It comes with some double-sided tape, and this is going to be the safety lock for your enclosure. What you're going to want to do is peel the double-sided tape. You're going to want to stick it to the back of your lock, like so. You're going to peel this side as well. Just going to put all the trash inside the enclosure for now. Then you're going to go to the edge of your glass. I like to stay about an inch or so above, and then you stick it. Just like that, your lock's installed. So this is going to be the handle for your tank. You're going to repeat the same exact process with the double-sided tape. You're going to find wherever you like the handle to be. You're going to stick it on, and that is going to be your handle. So you're going to peel the double-sided tape and carefully stick it to the back of this. Now, what I like to do is I keep it maybe 3/4 of an inch away, and I set the height with the tool. And just like that, your handle's in. A little bit of extra tape right here, I'll cut that out after. Now that this door is complete, it's time to install it within the track. Now the track is divided into two sections. Hopefully you guys can see this. You have the front, which the front door will go on, and this door is the back door with the locking feature. This will go into the second track in the back. So what you're going to want to do is get it up in the top first, slide it in, drop it into the second track in the back, and it's installed. So again, we have our handle and our double-sided tape. I already peeled it, but I'm going to stick it on like so. Make sure that's on there nice and flat. I'm going to peel the tape, and I eyeballed 3/4 of an inch, and I set the height with this. And just like that, this door is now complete. Now it's time to install it within the track. So just like the first door, we are going to install this in the track. We're going to go into the first slot this time, carefully. And just like that, our doors are now installed. So this little piece right here is the piece of resistance. This is the lock for your enclosure. You put that in, your door is not going to be able to open now. Reptiles aren't going to be able to sneak their way out if they're strong enough to push the door. So everything's going to be safe. And just like that, in about 12 minutes of your time, you now have an enclosure. So I'm going to be honest, if I were to put this enclosure on a scale from 1 through 10, if you're using this for a leopard gecko or a bearded dragon, I would give this enclosure a 6.5. The enclosure looks nice, it gets the job done, but it's just not really quite there. I really don't like all the gaps and cracks along every single seam within the enclosure. Obviously, now you need to go into the tank and modify it after you already built it. So something I really like about these new Age Pet EcoFlex enclosures is that they come with accessories. Like this right here, I'm not going to be constructing this in today's video, but this is a divider. So I'm going to be able to take my old enclosure that the bearded dragon's in now and stack it on top of this 120-gallon enclosure. Now this company also makes enclosures for arboreal lizards, and they also make tank stands for these enclosures. So just one final quick rundown of these EcoFlex enclosures. If you're looking for something that is large, lightweight, and affordable, these new Age Pet EcoFlex enclosures can be a great option for you. Overall, these enclosures get the job done, they hold in heat well, and they look neat, clean, and presentable. So I think for the value, it is a great product. I don't necessarily see anything that jumps out and says, hey, do not buy this product. Obviously, yes, some things can be better, but it's not necessarily a terrible enclosure. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed today's video, smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of these enclosures, and I'll see you in the next one.